Sugar trying to play me, and now they hate me. Now when I come around, got them screaming, oh she fame me. When I turn around, got them clicking, trying to paste me. Better pipe down before it get Macy. What's up, my pretties, my lovelies? We're here to talk about the past because a lot of times our past really has a negative effect on our future. And in what way, you may wonder? Well, we're going to get into it, okay? Because I got y'all. That's what I'm here for. So, the topic of today in our discussion at the His House, and hopefully you'll comment down below and give me your version, your examples, your ideas, because we're here for that. At the His House, we do a little bit of this, we do a little bit of that, a little everything that you may hear or experience at somebody's house. From gossiping to talking about topics to giving advice to dealing with real situations to seeing the news and discussing topics on the news. It just is what it is. At his house has a lot of stuff to go down. Sometimes we even do a mukbang here. People eat up in this his house. Yes, we wash clothes. We do it all, baby. We put out the dirty laundry. Yeah, garbage, sitting it outside. Like we do a lot over here. So yeah, just get ready for it. So if you are new to the His House, welcome. We're so glad to have you and all the parties on their way back. Hey, let's get into it. Y'all know what's up. Yeah. So speaking about the past, a lot of the time the past can hold you back. And you may be like, nah, the past can't never hurt me. Like I done moved on. That was a long time ago. But it can. Think about your childhood. Okay, that's in the past, but some of us haven't dealt with that energy. Whether it was our relationship with our siblings, to our family members, to our past. We don't like something they did. We don't like something they said. We still trying to prove stuff to people or prove people wrong that told us what we could and could not do back then. So at the end of the day, the past is still guiding our future, our present. The way we deal with people, a lot of times it deal with our past experiences, right? If we're used to people doing us wrong, treating us indifferently or disrespectfully, what are we gonna do? We're gonna act accordingly. So the next person that I see in my future, whether they had anything to do with it or not, we're going to act accordingly. And we're going to tell them what we're going to put up with, what we're not going to put up with. They just asked us for a cookie or our name. And that also goes with men, with women. Just because a woman cheated on us or just because a man hurt our feelings, we're going to take that into this next relationship that's in the future, not the past or the present, not the past, and make them pay for everything that was done for us that we didn't like. And they're going to see it because I wasn't able to deal with it in my past. So I'm going to have to deal with it right now in my future. And then what happens? That leads to tragedy, a mess, because first of all, that person had no idea what you're talking about. That person was not present in the moment where you were hurt, torn, punished, bruised. But you're making them deal with and be the brunt of your past trauma, your past issues, because you haven't dealt with it. And that's not fair. That's just not fair. It's not fair to the person you're doing it to. It's not fair to you. Oh, that look nasty. What is coming out his mouth? But anyway, so oh, that's the skin. Ugh, hold up now. Hold up. So, at the end of the day, like, sometimes you have to ignore things. Sometimes you have to stop dwelling on what didn't go right, what should have went right, what's not going to go right in the future or the present, because you can't enjoy your moments. A lot of times we skate through life, just skate. And I mean literally skate because of the fact that we're focusing too much on the future. What places do we want to go? What are we trying to build for our future? What do we want to see in our future? True enough, that's smart. Definitely build for the future. But you don't have to build for the future in expense that you don't live in the present, in the now. Because at the end of the day, anytime you're able to live in the present, that's when you're winning. That's when you are the most happiest. That's when you're the most in existence. Shout out to Eckhart Tolle that talked about the power of now. The now is the present. We bust people upside the head of the chair because of things that happened in our past. For instance, the man did an interview with Charlemagne about why he hit the woman. I didn't even know it was a woman. Sorry, that wasn't that funny. In the head with a chair. And sure enough, I give him a pass because he blacked out. When you black out, you can forget some things. You're not really yourself. And you could be triggered, and then it's just World War III. So he said he doesn't really remember what happened because he blacked out with the chair because they was wondering what made him grab a chair. And he said all he remembered was that Rosa Parks had to sit at the back of the bus and they would not give her a seat at the front or something like that. I forgot exactly. Y'all had to go listen to the Breakfast Club, see what he said or whatever. But he said he wanted to give that woman a seat. I'm sorry. And it's crazy also because I do feel like, and I've thought about this, like, could this be like government MC having people do random things at the switch of a button? I've heard like it's a way to alter the way people think. Not saying that that's the situation, but who can imagine just because you are triggered by somebody presently getting hurt, you take that and bring it back to your past, and then what? You appear in jail. And don't get me wrong, I'm glad that Black people rallied together. But at the same time, it had a lot to do with the black and white issue that dealt with the past. And people have overlooked it. People have not healed from it. I'm going to be the first to tell you, a white person can copy a nigga to my, Nika, rah, 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 rah. Hopefully don't, whatever. I'm not, to my face. I would laugh. Like, it would not bother me at all. But some people are so stuck in the past and they were so mad at what endured in the past and the fact that it's constantly put over our head because as a child you're subjected to it for year after year after year, talking about it and the oppression of certain people in the past. But these people are not being pressed in the future. I haven't seen a cotton field hardly ever. We haven't. The only person I got a whooping from was my mom, because guess what? Her parents had to deal with that, and her parents before her, and back in the day, they was getting whooping by their masters. So a lot of the stuff from our past has trickled on to our present. And true enough, it was wrong for the people to come and assault the man, jump the man. But at the same time, that wasn't actually a fair fight, because we can damage certain people. And maybe because basically that's the bottom line. They attacked and stuck it out because they had been bullied by us. Yes, that happens. I've been the first to say that I've seen it's so easy to do to bully a certain group of people, to tear them down, and it's not even a fair fight. Let's be freaking for real. Anybody who goes up against, it's not a fair fight. So to be honest, 10 on 1 probably was their way of letting people know, don't be scared of them. But in our opinion, it was like, oh, that's jumping. But in their opinion, it's like liberation. And then we get these other people that Black people come back and we're living up where I passed. They're focusing on getting bullied by Black people currently, and who are dealing with the past that they had nothing to do with. And we get mad at the white people for what they did to us in the past that was over hundreds of years ago. In my opinion, we probably wasn't that. Yeah, I feel like it's been over 100 years because even in the 60s, they weren't sharecropping. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of us let our past dictate how we act in the future. And sometimes that can lead to chaos, destruction, division, decipherment, and stunting your growth. Because if you handle it a different way, you may not be in jail. you could probably have understood that the situation really wasn't about you. It was about something from your past, a whole nother thing, a whole nother situation. Y'all could have talked about it. And you could have probably learned from each other, because you would understand, okay, these people are hurting too. It's just not you hurting in the world. They're hurting too for something they didn't do. And you're hurting for something that you didn't take a part in. Because they weren't physically being you. It wouldn't be allowed to be here. That would just be insane for people to think that. So at the end of the day, you also can't bring how a person treated you into that situation. It's good to be careful. It's good to be cautious, because that's your way of protecting yourself from hurt, trauma, pain. But don't always go into a situation thinking like, I'm gonna be hurt. Everything's gonna fall apart, because it's always fall apart. Everything is going to just be terrible for me because it never works out. Try saying, oh, it's gonna work out today. Like, these people want to see me win. These people are not the same people from their ancestors. They may be dealing with certain situations and issues dealing because of their ancestors, but they're not the same exact people. And they cannot repay something that they didn't do. So just be mindful of how the past triggers you in your present life. And that's the part that you need to change and heal in order to just live peacefully in your present moment. Let's say you have a really good person who really loves and cares for you, but in the back of your mind thinking, oh, he's going to play with me. He's going to cheat me. He's going to abuse me. So guess what? Eventually he does, because you are playing that role. So he's going to assume the position and play that role to you. And then y'all end up splitting up. You end up breaking up. And the cycle continues. And the curse continues. It's a generational bond that hasn't been severed. It hasn't been broken. But so you sit up and say, oh, you know what? I'm going to leave my past alone and focus on my present. And then also the future. Your future is not going anywhere. So stop dwelling in the future so much and live in the present, because at the same time, you're going to let your present pass you by. And by the time you look up, you dead and gone. Because at the end of the day, your future is going to keep going and going and going. And if you constantly reaching for it, then when are you able to sit and enjoy the present? And the future is going to build itself. It's not much you're going to have to do. It's going to be what it is. Just look forward to the future. Set things in place so you'll be good in the future. But don't forget to live in the moment. And don't be hindered by the things of your past that may be holding you and weighing you down. Break to the dawn. You know we chrome, sitting on the dome. You know we home. DK, his house is on our zone. DK, his house, Pertion. Sipping on that pearly, white millet Merle. Sipping on that pearly, ooh, she dirty.